Mitsubishi has released initial details of the work going into local preparation for its upcoming 2018 Eclipse Cross, set to debut in local showrooms by the end of the year. The company says the new SUV is undergoing suspension and steering calibration, powertrain assessment and noise vibration harshness control to ensure it meets the requirements of Australian customers. Australia has been identified as one of the key markets for the Eclipse Cross, which will slot between the smaller and aging ASX and larger Outlander SUVs when it arrives here late this year. While local pricing and specifications are yet to be divulged by the Japanese manufacturer, we know that the Eclipse Cross will offer the choice of a 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine or a 2.0-liter turbo diesel engine depending on the market. Power and torque figures are also unconfirmed at this point, though the 1.5-liter petrol is matched to a continuously variable transmission, which has an 8-speed sport mode, while the 2.0-liter oiler is paired with an 8-speed automatic. The Eclipse Cross will be offered exclusively with all-wheel drive. Additionally, the now-retired Lancer Evolution's Super All-Wheel Control Dynamics control system, with brake-activated active yaw control, will also feature. Stay tuned for a full pricing and specifications rundown for Mitsubishi's new crossover in the lead-up to its local launch later this year.
Nissan Navara Trek 1 Degree has now gone on sale in the UK, priced from £35,065. Trek 1 Degree is a special edition version of the range-topping Tecna-grade Navara in double cab specification. Boosting the already popular appeal of the Navara is a dose of additional extras that enhance the visuals and practicality of the vehicle. Navara Trek 1 Degree is powered by a 2.3-liter DCI 190 engine which returns 44.9 mpg with a 6-speed manual transmissions and 40.1 mpg with a 7-speed automatic. Every versions of the Navara Trek 1 Degree ships with on-demand 4-wheel drive as standard. Exclusive extras for the Trek 1 Degree include black sports styling bars, as well as powerful forward-facing LED spot lamps attached to the top section. The Navara Trek 1 Degree also comes with black 18-inch 6-spoke alloy wheels and a smart new load bed cover. The loading bay cover is made from high-grade durable plastic and comes in either black or white. Customers who purchase the vehicle will have a choice between two exterior colors, black metallic or storm white, the latter exclusive to Trek 1 Degree. Practical upgrades now mean the car has a 1-ton payload and 3.5-ton towing capacity. Every double cab also comes with unique multi-link rear suspension and a number of safety technologies including forward emergency braking, vehicle dynamic control, hill descent control and hill start assist. Also included in the Navara Trek 1 Degree package is the Nissan Connect infotainment system with satellite navigation and DAB digital radio, 360 degrees around view monitor, rear parking sensors and LED headlights. Further highlights included a full-sized spare wheel, leather seats, heated front seats and 8-way adjustment on the driver's seat. A tow bar and differential lock are also available. Nissan say the name Trek 1 Degree takes inspiration from the geographical location of the Navarre Desert in northern Spain, at -1 degree longitude, after which the Navara was named.
You can't just jump into a Nissan GTR and that's the thing. You can't. It's wrong, and it should not be tolerated. A GTR is a car you have to build up to and take your time with. You have to respect it and earn it. This is exactly what's running through my head as I approach the positively hostile-looking 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo for the first time. I mean, seriously. Look at those near-time attack spec carbon fiber front and rear bumpers and side skirts. And check out that massive rear wing. Sure, the front and rear Nismo badges confirm the model's motorsport pedigree, but they're hardly the elements giving the game away. Not least of all when the thing rolls on Jap-tastic, rigid black, 6-spoke 20-inch, lightweight rims, forged alloy wheels and Mega Series, model-specific Dunlop and R1 tires. Anyway, hold your drooling gaze a little longer, and you can't help but take note of those awesome gold-painted 6-piston front 4-piston rear Brembo calipers, and associated 390mm and 380mm fully floating, cross-drilled 2-piece rotors. So, the 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo looked the part. But, is a giant dinosaur riding amok through downtown Tokyo still a scary concept? You bet. With nerves and excitement building, the time comes to crack the door and slide behind the wheel for the first time. As the eye is treated to red and black carbon fiber back Recaro bucket seats, a neat Nismo instrument cluster, and a plethora of motorsport-centric Alcantara, push the GTR's red engine start button, and it's the ears that are soon assaulted, and not in a good way. Despite a hand-built titanium exhaust system and 2 new high-flow, larger diameter turbochargers, borrowed from the GTR Nismo GT3 road checker, the Nissan GTR Nismo road car doesn't sound great. Familiar to those who have ever spent time in a Nissan GTR and positively alarming to those who haven't, at idle the GTR's cabin fills with the unique sound of a slightly intimidating wide and slightly concerning mechanical whir that sets it apart from any other car on the market, and leaves you in little doubt about its focus and potential. It's at this particular point in time, with the low-frequency grinding and higher-frequency buzzing doing their thing in the background, you're presented with 3 options. Leave everything in normal. Shift the transmission into its highway-friendly safe mode and the suspension into its mildly laughable comfort mode. Or toggle each of the GTR's adjustable parameter switches up and into their most aggressive R modes and test your skills and personal levels of commitment and bravery. As I said at the beginning, you can't just jump into a Nissan GTR and that's the thing, so we go with option 2 to try and ascertain how this mostly mental road-going raw checker handles the everyday. And, you know what? Despite all the carbon fiber, the menacing presence, and that wing, the Nismo isn't actually some completely ludicrous, trek-only monster. Drive it around town and it doesn't feel like you're driving a raw checker on the street. Overall build quality is of a high standard, outside noise is largely blocked out, and everything generally feels solid and well put together. In short, it doesn't feel like some stripped out, caged up, rattly, kit car racer with number plates. It feels, in a lot of ways, like a normal car. There's little doubt the super stiff Nismo tuned springs and custom-developed remote Bilstein Damtronic dampers prefer smoother roads to rougher. But, spend more time with the car, and you can at least start to appreciate the efforts of the suspension's willing comfort mode. Given how firm the ride still remains, however, be ready for passengers hopping in cold to quickly question the softer mode's purpose. To prove a point though, flick the suspension into or on a bumpy stretch of road and the contrast will soon become obvious to all and sundry. To be clear, this is a Nissan GTR Nismo we're talking about here. If you're after a soft, supple, and luxurious ride, go buy something else. This car is meant to be firm. It's been intentionally designed from the ground up to be firm. So, yeah, it's firm. Move on. Plus, frankly speaking, a bigger issue is the fact that GTR Nismo simply doesn't feel like a car attached to a sticker price of $299,000, before on-road costs, $72,000 more than a Nismo Federal GTR Track Edition and $110,000 more than an entry-level GTR Premium Edition. Performance is one thing, but come on, $300 grand? That's more than $4,000 up on the highly limited BMW M4 GTS and only $80K off a McLaren 570S. Further, the GTR Nismo is mechanically noisy and audibly clunky, the infotainment system isn't up to scratch, and the backseat door plastics are scratchy and seriously low-end. New the 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo may be, climb inside and it's still patently obvious you're in something based on a 10-year-old car. There's also no blind spot monitoring, no forward collision alert, no adaptive cruise control, No autonomous emergency braking, not even an auto-dimming rearview mirror, and the manual example that is there wouldn't look or feel out of place in a Nissan Micra. The red-stitched Nismo embroidered leather and Alcantara Recaro bucket seats are supportive and super comfortable, even after hours behind the wheel, but don't go searching for any heating or cooling fanciness, because it ain't there. And only the backrest has electric adjustment. Fortunately, with its hand-assembled twin-turbocharged 3.8-liter V6 engine wound up to produce 441 kilowatts of power at 6,800 RPMs and 652 Newton-meters of torque between 3,600 to 5,600 RPMs, the 1762 kilograms GTR Nismo is blisteringly fast. Although Nissan hasn't said just how fast its latest creation can sprint to triple figures, know that this most hypo of stock GTRs has 22 kilowatts more power, 20 Newton-meters more torque, and 26 kilograms less weight to play with than a regular GTR, a car that's previously been attached to 0 to 100 kilometers per hour claims as low as 2.7 seconds. Move past the introductory stage with the Nismo, engage beast mode by illuminating all three radar logos beneath the climate controls, and what grabs you even more than the car's straight-line rapidness, is its remarkable agility. Noticeably more nimble and responsive than a standard GTR, particularly in the front end, it's here you begin to realize the true depth of changes made to this almightily proficient car. What sort of changes? Well, specifically, increased body shell rigidity through a combination of spot welding and adhesive bonding, plus additional roll stiffness in the form of a stiffer, and 1.4 mm thicker, 17.3 mm Nismo-tuned hollow rear anti-roll bar. The result is a GTR that's much more willing to turn in, change direction, and be flung about with controlled aggression. The run-flat Nismo-specific nitrogen-filled tires too, are seriously impressive. Attached to possibly one of the longest official names in the business, the GTR rolls on 255/40 front and 285/35 rear Dunlop SP Sport Max GT 600 DSST CTT and R1S. And, while there's no question a car like the GTR Nismo belongs on a racetrack, what bends the brain is how much lateral and underpower grip the tires deliver, even when blasting through damp mountain roads and ambient temperatures below 5 degrees Celsius. Even on a totally wet road, you can drive the GTR Nismo with respectable enthusiasm and the tires still offer tremendous grip, remaining resistant to the majority of unwanted sliding. And when you do find some dry roads, well, stumble across a moisture-free stretch of smooth tarmac and you're immediately aware the GTR Nismo possesses another level of grip and performance. Helped in no small part by the GTR's rear drive bias to Tesla ETS all-wheel drive system, in the dry, you can lean on the tires even more, you can get on the throttle earlier and harder, and you can brake even later. An acronym for Advanced Total Traction Engineering System for All-Terrain with Electronic Torque Split, the complex, and complexly named, system can distribute up to 100% of torque to the rear wheels and up to 50% to the front, depending on speed, lateral acceleration, steering angle, tire slip, and road surface, with additional input coming from yaw rate and G-force sensors. The steering, though, is heavy. And, while you do get used to it to a degree, it never stops being heavy, even in safe mode instead of either normal or R. There is feedback through the wheel, however, even in this most epic of guises, the GTR still isn't the most engaging or involving car to drive. It isn't uncommunicative, but the GTR Nismo is no McLaren 570S. Teaming a solid pedal with nice feel and good progression, the Nismo's massive stoppers do a sublime job of strongly and repeatedly pulling the car up, endowing drivers with a ton of confidence. It's fortunate they do too, because the Nismo's engine is angrier and more responsive than the standard GTR power plant, feeling decidedly keener and punkier, especially at higher RPM. There's still plenty of lag below 4,000 RPMs, but from there to the engine's 7,100 RPMs red limiter, it's not shy about seriously packing on numbers. power delivery is more linear than you might think, and while the engine's low-end pickup is no match for the likes of BMWs, Mercedes-AMGs, and even McLaren's twin-turbo engines, there's enough flexible torque available between 1,000 to 2,500 RPMs to accommodate sane trips merely pottering around town. Speaking of which, although Nissan claims an average fuel consumption figure of 11.7 liters per 100 kilometers for the GTR Nismo, we saw a highway low of 10.3 L/100 kilometers and an overall average of 16.4 L/100 kilometers. With the updated 2017 GTR, Nissan made the decision to move the ultra-quick coupe's paddle shifters from the steering column to the back of the steering wheel. A smart move if you ask the majority of paddle fans. The Model 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission also received some mild revisions, however, it's still noisier and more clunky than it really ought to be. A bit of an R35 GTR trademark, and particularly noticeable at lower speeds and when parking, the transmission noises are at least paired with shifts that Nissan claims can take as little as 0.15 of a second to complete, with the transmission in R mode. Plenty quick, for us, the changes aren't quite as rapid or crisp as you'll find in a McLaren 570S or BMW M4 GTS, though they're still pretty bloody brisk, even if some cog swaps are occasionally attached to jolts when decelerating. So, the 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo isn't perfect. Few cars are. Its slightly crude and unrefined transmission lacks some speed, smoothness, and polish. Both the engine and exhaust sound disappointingly restrained. The infotainment system and several interior elements are underwhelming. And of course, the ivory pearl elephant in the room, the GTR Nismo has a simply monumental asking price. All of that said though, the whole car still manages to feel complete. What I mean by that is, it doesn't feel like a gimmick. It doesn't feel like Nissan's just stuck a bunch of go-fast bits and a big wing onto a standard GTR and charged nearly double the price. It's seriously solid, stupendously hooked up, and demonstrably fast. Its limits are so high, and so far beyond the average drivers, that driving the thing on a public road, legally, you're barely ever going to touch the sides of what the GTR Nismo is capable of. You're just not. But, while its combination of outright pace and ability make the Nismo ridiculously brilliant and easily the best R35 GTR yet, it's not the best GTR ever, not in my eyes anyway. Unlike an old R34, R32, or especially an original KPGC10 Skyline GTR, the Nismo is not a car you fall in love with. It's not a car that steals your heart and leaves you yearning for that next drive, or a car that gets in your head or makes you never want to stop driving it. It's bloody good, but frustratingly, it lacks feels. So, even though I think the 2017 Nissan GTR Nismo is a properly mega car, I don't love it. Perhaps more engine and turbo noise or a better exhaust note or even a manual gearbox could potentially improve things. Sadly, none of those things are likely to feature on the next generation, and likely hybrid-assisted, Nissan GTR. For now then, I'll just have to keep waiting for the day I can afford the ultimate Godzilla, a Nismo R34 GTR Z-Tune.